Memorial Day, 2 months ago, approximately 8 weeks ago, let's say, I did a dry pour of this sidewalk. So this sidewalk here was a wet pour done by a contractor, and I actually wanted another sidewalk kind of going down here and wrapping around the garage. And I thought about buying a bunch of bags of concrete. I used to have a cement mixer. I sold that several years ago. This is a new house to us. I didn't think I'd ever use that cement mixer again, so I sold it, which was okay. Got more for it than what I paid for it, so that worked out great. So anyhow, seeing some dry pour videos on the internet, I decided to give it a try, see what happened. So the sidewalk here is the one that I did the dry pour. Does a couple purposes. One, it keeps the flower portion of this over here separated from the grass portion. And originally I was going to put like use like those brick type things that we inherited from the house and build a border, but then you have weeds growing up between them and everything. And then I thought about pouring a concrete curb, and since this is kind of like a path that we walk around to check out the flowers, and so we've been in this house a short period of time, and we're doing a lot of work. So lots of work. And one of the path, so this serves two purposes. It's a mini sidewalk path, and then it serves as a separator between where our flowers will be in the grass. And we got a lot of projects going on. We're repurposing a lot of things that were in the yard. Those paving bricks were used as a border for raised beds, and we've changed that up a little bit, and then making a path go through between those two raised beds. And then we inherit all these round paving bricks that I've reorganized, but this is not what this video is about. This video is about this dry pour. So anyhow, when I did the dry pour, let me tell you this. So there was like 70 feet of sidewalk, and it's about 20 inches wide. Well, it is 20 inches wide, and about 75 feet. And I used about 35 bags of concrete. And so when I did this, if you saw my first video, the control joints or expansion joints, whatever you want to call it, I put those in with actually my edging tool, and then it didn't work out too well, but it did make a spot where the expansion was. And I came back later with my angle grinder, and I ground through here to add expansion joints or control joints. And one of these actually has cracked already in the expansion joint, so exactly, or the control joint were exactly where I wanted it to. So you also notice there's different colors. I did this in 2 days. I did the part here in front of me on one day, and the next day I did the other part, and I don't know why it came out a little bit different color. It could be the one trick I used was, as I put the concrete in, the dry concrete, the last like ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch, I mixed S-type mortar 50-50 with bags of concrete. And I did that so it would be a smoother, less rockier finish. And the only thing I can think of is that I didn't get it quite proportion the same the second day. It might have been, this part over here might have been more concrete and less mortar. And the reason why I think that, because you can actually see a few rocks kind of showing. So anyhow, I was talking about these control joints. I ground those out with an angle grinder and made them deeper. It looks like it might be cracked, but there's actually dirt down there in the control joints. But one of these, turning around here, so there's a separation, like a cold joint between these two, so that will already has like a crack, I guess you might say. So one of these does have a crack in it already, and people are asking me will crack. Actually, it's this one right here. So I ground that control joint with the angle grinder, and it does have a crack going through there. So it cracked where I wanted it to crack. So since I did the concrete, I built an arbor, and then I'm in the process of putting these fence panels on and using some old fence panels that were left over from previous owners. Like the ends are broke off, so I've cut them off 5 foot, the bad parts that are broke at the bottoms, and then using them to make a shorter privacy fence. And I'll eventually put a gate on there. So what this is going to be, along here, these are raspberry bushes. We're going to have raspberries planted all along here. We're not sure what we're going to have planted over here. These plants here are some type of yucca type of plant. We're in northern Illinois, so I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they were blooming quite well, and we're transplanting them from the backyard to here, and a couple of them are struggling. That one there's not doing too bad. A couple are struggling. Another one's not doing too bad. So, but we're not sure what we're going to do with this area yet. But for the arbor, I want to plant grapevine on each one. So we lived in Utah for a few years, and we had an arbor that we inherited, and they had grapevine growing up over top, and it did really, really well. It gave us lots and lots of grapes to make jelly and some different things. Coming around here, I'll spin around here, look at it from this direction. So that's what it looks like. So like I said, it's about 70 feet total, 20 inches wide. It took about 35 bags of concrete mix. I did this over 2 days, carrying 35 bags of concrete. It took multiple loads. I think I did 3 trips to the builder supply to get the concrete, and then lugging those bags. I did all this by myself. So building the forms, lugging the concrete, it took a couple days, and I could have did it all one day pretty easily, except as far as the forms are concerned, I was using some repurposed wood that I had. I didn't go out and buy any lumber for this, and I had basically enough to do half. So I did half, waited a day, took the forms off, then built the forms for the second half, and then went ahead and put the concrete down for the second half, and then turned out okay. Got a little kitty wampus there on me just a little bit. I had a level and I was making sure it was straight, but once it I got done, took the forms off, there's like a little low spot, kind of curves a little bit, but not too bad. But like I said, this is basically just a place to walk through. Hopefully a year or two we can pick raspberries. Over here we'll have something else, and that arbor right above my head we'll have some grapes. So the entire backyard is a work in progress. It was overgrown. The house was vacant for a couple years, and it was overgrown with trees and stumps all over, and so we've done a lot of work and still have a lot of work to do. So that is a 60-day, 2-month approximately update on my dry pour concrete project. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like this channel and share this video.